The LinkedIn Podcast Network is sponsored by TIAA. TIAA makes you a retirement promise, a promise of a guaranteed retirement paycheck for life. Learn more at TIAA.org/promises pay off.
Hi, before we get started, just a public service announcement. Father's Day is fast approaching. If you've got a father figure in your life who's into reading, I've got an outstanding gift idea for you. A year's worth of the best new nonfiction books, courtesy of the Next Big Idea Club. Our curators, Malcolm Gladwell, Adam Grant, Susan Cain, and Dan Pink, pick out the most interesting new books, and we send them right to Dad's door. Just go to nextbigideaclub.com and use the code DAD20 to get 20% off. I think you'll love it. Okay, here's today's show.
LinkedIn presents.
The innovation delusion is the mistaken notion that the creation of new things, cloaked in the buzzwords of innovation speak, is the best and only path to resolve all kinds of problems that we face in society. This is a delusion because complex problems like our health, our financial stability, or global climate catastrophe cannot be cured by a simple technological fix. These problems, like all important problems, call for deeper and more meaningful engagement.
Hey everybody, I'm your host, Michael Kovnat. This is the Next Big Idea Daily, and it's Monday. Do you ever get tired of innovation? I do. It seems like all the business gurus and tech enthusiasts are obsessed with it. Innovating, disrupting, moving fast, and breaking things. It's exciting, sure, but is it really the best approach to business or life? This is the question raised by a recent book called The Innovation Delusion: How Our Obsession with the New Has Disrupted the Work That Matters Most, by Andrew L. Russell and Lee Vinsel. Andrew and Lee are college professors and writers who started a research organization called Maintainers. As you'll hear, to build a healthy society, they think we need to spend a little less time innovating and a little more time maintaining. Our curator, Adam Grant, says the book asks an urgent question. What if we invested as much in maintenance, care, and upkeep as we do in growth, change, and disruption? Here's Andrew to explain.
Americans view innovation as a positive force. One reason is that new gadgets signify high status in American culture. We're led to believe that the march of smaller and smarter devices is synonymous with the very notion of progress itself. To be sure, there are times when the maps or weather apps on my smartphone have helped me out of some tight situations. But this is a shallow view about progress and about technology. Novelty isn't necessarily good. The Silicon Valley approach, embodied in the Facebook motto, "Move fast and break things," or the worship of disruptive innovation, has an implicit cruelty at its core. Just think of disruptive innovations like fentanyl and crack cocaine. These drugs have decimated American families and communities while making criminals rich. Or think of celebrated market disruptors like Enron, the fraudulent company that was named America's most innovative company 5 years running by Fortune magazine. One reason why Americans look to innovation and technology to fix societal problems is because there's a cottage industry of consultants and TED Talks. They try to convince you that innovation can lead to personal fulfillment and financial comfort. They speak in a dialect that we like to call innovation speak. Innovation speak consists of overblown promises, often cast in a language of fear, about how we need to stay innovative to stave off foreign competition or domestic decay. But think about it. Innovation speak is always a sales pitch. Its goal is to part people from their money, their time, or both. The title of our book, The Innovation Delusion, refers to the harms that follow from pinning too many hopes on disruptive innovation. The innovation delusion is the mistaken notion that the creation of new things, cloaked in the buzzwords of innovation speak, is the best and only path to resolve all kinds of problems that we face in society. This is a delusion because complex problems like our health, our financial stability, or global climate catastrophe cannot be cured by a simple technological fix. These problems, like all important problems, call for deeper and more meaningful engagement. we're enduring a crisis of care. Think about some of the deep, difficult, and systemic problems in American society. A broken healthcare system, insufficient funding for public education or early childhood development, gender inequality, and racial injustice, to name a few. All of these issues are symptoms of the same underlying problem, which the philosopher Nancy Fraser has aptly described as a crisis of care. The term care work, as Fraser and other scholars have pointed out, encompasses the labor that builds and sustains social bonds. Examples include nursing, teaching, childcare, and domestic work, such as dishes, laundry, and so on. In American society, women have historically performed most of this work and have not been compensated. More affluent families can afford to hire help, which is disproportionately immigrant women of color and Black and Latino women. Care work is often low status, undercompensated, and taken for granted. The crisis of care really hurts because we all have a profound need to care for ourselves and one another, and to feel that care. The consequences of a world without care are dire. Public health experts are gravely concerned about deaths of despair, a term that refers to suicides, drug overdoses, and alcohol-related fatalities. Deaths of despair share a common factor. Many can be avoided if we all placed a higher priority on empathy and care. In a society crying out for empathy and compassion, we need a renewed commitment to a culture of care and support for caregivers. Maintenance matters more than innovation. Technology is a vast term, encompassing far more than the digital devices and apps referred to by the popular shorthand term tech. A broader conception of technology includes tools, cutlery, buildings, cloth, streets, sidewalks, and the pipes, pumps, and wires that we use to transport water, waste, energy, and information. Now, to appreciate why technology in this broad sense is so important, I invite you to join me in a thought experiment. Look around and make some mental notes about the technologies you see in your immediate vicinity. What's new and what's old? If you're inside a building, you probably see walls. That is, layered combinations of steel, cement, wood, screws, nails, and paint. You may also see furniture, electric lights, glass windows, carpets, plumbing appliances, and entertainment devices, such as TVs, laptops, or smartphones. The newest technologies you see are likely products of the digital age: televisions, computers, or perhaps a voice-activated surveillance device, like Amazon Echo or Google Home. There's 3 important points that come out of this little thought experiment. First, the technologies most essential for your well-being are old. Let's say you had to banish one of these things from your home: glass windows or Amazon Echo. Which one would you choose? Or let's say you could buy only one of these things for your local school: cleaning supplies or iPads. Which one would you choose? The second point is that old technologies tend to be forgotten and taken for granted. Some of you might not even think of concrete or glass as technologies, but they are. And they often fade into the background of our awareness precisely because they are so durable and reliable. The third point is that technologies, if left alone, lose value over time. Value depends on maintenance, that is, on efforts to ensure longevity. A new smartphone becomes an expensive, filthy paperweight unless we update the software and clean the case and screen. A new car becomes a death trap unless we change the oil, inspect the brakes, and clean the windows. And even simple technologies, roofs or walls, eventually will collapse without attention to leaks, cracks, and all the wear and tear that comes inevitably with the passing of time. Maintenance is exciting. I often hear people say that they accept maintenance is important, but they say it's undervalued probably because it's boring. Now, this statement might be true for people who have surrendered completely to instant gratification or short-term thinking. But for people who understand the rewards of hard work, maintenance already holds a central place in their thoughts and actions. So let's think about maintenance on 3 different scales: for individuals, for organizations like businesses or schools, and for the earth itself. Consider the smallest scale first, the individual, where maintenance is the key to health and personal fulfillment. Exercise maintains the body. Rest, meditation, and prayer maintain the mind and spirit. And maintenance in the home, whether it's tidying up inside or keeping weeds or snow at bay outside, is widely recognized to have a restorative effect. Caring feels good. At a broader scale, in businesses and schools, maintenance is the key to success. Even in the digital industries, where the gospel of innovation is sacrosanct, the kings of disruption, such as Netflix and Amazon, keep customers happy because they've invested in the reliability of their data and distribution networks. In schools, many of us know from experience that learning is easier and more fun when the roof isn't leaking, the desk isn't broken, and the equipment is up to date and in good working order. Now consider maintenance at an even broader scale. The work of environmental conservation is, at root, the work of maintenance. It's reassuring to see young climate activists, such as Greta Thunberg and Vanessa Nakate, who are inspiring millions of people to change the way that they consume, invest, and vote. In fact, the topics of climate change and environmental sustainability illustrate the importance of a maintenance mindset that spans the individual, group, and global scales. I recently interviewed Mark Castell, the founder of a Canadian software company called Fix. Fix specializes in maintenance management software, which companies use to stay on top of all of their equipment and facilities. Mark told me, "We're not a software company, we're a sustainability company." If you think about sustainability and maintenance, in our minds, they're the same word. This approach helped Mark's company become recognized as one of Canada's best places to work. As Mark explained, 100% of my staff joined our company to be part of the sustainability revolution and to meet the crises of climate change, environmental degradation, resource consumption, and sustainability of the planet. They're just stoked about it, and they think maintainers are cool. Maintainers work in all walks of life, from mechanics and programmers to nurses and janitors. Yet within most organizations and society at large, maintenance roles often fall at the bottom. They're perceived as low status, and they're poorly compensated. Maintainers deserve better. For starters, Congress could ensure Americans have affordable health care and raise the minimum wage. More ambitiously, Congress could create 21st century versions of the famous programs of the New Deal era, such as the Works Progress Administration or Civilian Conservation Corps. State governments also could take meaningful steps towards ensuring that working families have affordable health care, childcare, housing, and food. But we don't need to wait for the politicians. We could start with simple gestures, such as showing greater amounts of respect for all maintainers and essential workers. Common courtesy goes a long way. Research shows that maintainers such as janitors, hospitality workers, and IT support staff feel disrespected, taken for granted, or ignored altogether. It costs nothing to fix this. You can start now. All citizens can be stronger advocates for maintainers. You can do this in your workplace, for example, by recommending staff members for a promotion or a raise. You can speak up at meetings of your local school board or city council. And you can support candidates for elected office who demonstrate that they understand the importance of maintenance and care work.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, listeners, so let's try spending a little less time this week as innovators and a bit more time as maintainers. Pick up a copy of The Innovation Delusion at your favorite bookstore. And before you go, how about leaving a rating or review for this show in your podcast player? It'll help others find us, and we'd really appreciate it. I'm Michael Kovnat. See you tomorrow.